Hello, my name is Tina Dillard with Quilting Affection Designs, and I'm proud to announce my first book, Poppin With Wings. In this book, you'll find 8 stunning contemporary to modern quilts that range from wall hanging to lap size. These quilts will take your basic flying geese to a whole new level by adding a little pop to each of these units. Every quilt is designed around the high precision Studio 180 Design Wing Clipper, Corner Pop 2, and Corner Pop 3 tools, combined with easy to follow project instructions no matter if you're right or left-handed. Each project is broken out into manageable sections that will help you gain confidence in your quilting abilities. Visit quiltingaffection.com to order or get more information. Hello. Welcome everyone to the launch of my first book, Poppin With Wings. Let me introduce myself. I'm Tina Dillard, the author of this book, and I'm the designer behind Quilting Affection Designs. Let me give you a little background about myself now. I started Quilting Affection Designs in about 2016 and found my love of developing patterns over long arming and other things. I did try both things and it just didn't work out. My love was the pattern design and how I could take certain elements and just change them up real easy and fast. In 2018, I became a part of the Studio 180 design family as a certified instructor. Since then, I have been designing patterns that use the Studio 180 design tools and have also been working with Island Batik and Timeless Treasure Fabrics as pattern designer also. Let me give some big thank yous to some people that really deserve it, that helped me go through the process of getting this book ready for you guys for our big launch. Starting with Deb Tucker herself and the Studio 180 design crew. I give a big thank you for Deb and them for allowing me to be a certified instructor, selecting me and going through all the process of everything there. Also to Deb herself for writing the foreword in my book. I really appreciate it. It was well done and perfect to the dot for this book. I also want to thank my fellow Studio 180 Designs CIs out there that work hard behind the scenes to take their time and pattern test for myself and other certified instructors out there that write patterns also. To my technical editor, Lavon Funk, sorry if I said your last name wrong, for the Quilting Jetgirl. You were perfect for my book editing. You've been a great text editor for my patterns and for my book also. A big thank you and hug for Ebony Love from LoveBug Studios. She's the one that taught me everything I need to know about writing a book for you guys. To my dear friend and long armor who quilted all the quilts in this book, January Rhodes, the Quilted Ginger. Your talent of choosing the right quilt designs for my quilts was spot on. Taking the texture was perfect way of doing these quilts. Plus giving me all the support behind the scenes and keeping me going. This book was not made possible without you. Thank you, January. And finally, to my family. My sons Patrick and Colton. Colton not being here, he's always living in Florida. He's always my supporter, my number one, and to Pat for doing all my mailings and getting all this video set up. Especially I also want to say thank you to my husband Robert, who made this possible also. He was with me from day one on this huge project. He's also the mastermind behind all the stunning graphics and photography in this book. I'm going to give you a little background on the book. Last year, January and I were just returning from Quilt Market and Festival. We were full of ideas and they were just running through our heads. We discussed several ideas on the way home, but one of our focuses was to take and make more patterns with the corner pop tools. The corner pop tools were fairly new, and we really fell in love with what I did with my first quilt, Coastal Glacier. So we wanted to continue that. I chose one of the ideas and started writing the drafts of the patterns. Then we ran into some roadblocks. So I was determined to write the book, but I needed to take a couple steps back and refocus my concept, and that January and I started. So what I chose was the idea to take the flying geese and give them the little extra kick with the Studio 180 design, Corner Pop 2 and Corner Pop 3 tools. Poppin With Wings was born. The goal of the book was to take the flying geese unit to the next level, show you what you can be done by adding corner pops to them. A simple corner pop by popping corners and adding triangles creates an entirely different unit and feel, or even a block, make it completely different. It expands the variety of designs and possibilities that can be produced. By taking the wing clipper, the corner pop 2, and the corner pop 3 tools from the Studio 180 design toolbox, a fantastic set of patterns will spring to life and build around those flying geese units. I feel once you learn the corner pop tools, techniques, and combine them with the flying geese, you'll have a great start to build upon. Using the corner pop tools will bring new life to any base, shape, or unit. I also believe this will open up the new design possibilities and bring new life to even old quilts. Now you know why I'm so excited about bringing this book to life and sharing these techniques. The sky's the limit. So let's go ahead and dig in and show you these stunning quilts in this book. Poppin With Wings, stunning flying geese with a pop. I'm going to talk about some of the features in this book before we jump into some more of the quilts. There are 125 pages full of images and cutting charts, contemporary to modern quilts that range from wall hangings to lap-size quilts. A total of 8 projects, 4 using the wing clipper with the corner pop 2 and 4 using the corner pop and the wing clipper. All these quilts are made from basic and blender fabric collections you can find in your local quilt shop. You do not have to wait for quilt collections to come out. You can go directly to your shop and grab bolts off the shelf. Easy to follow, step-by-step instructions on how to use the Studio 180 design tools, featuring the right-handed and left-handed cutting instructions. Each tool project has been thoroughly tested by myself and several other certified instructors by the Studio 180. I believe that making every quilt by myself before sending it to my testers, so I make sure we get a quality product at the end and pattern. Let's go ahead and get through, so start with project 1, called Asterisk Star. The key to this quilt is the background colors. They bring out the stencil, looking in this, the stencil look that looks in this stunning quilt. The forest colors that I chose for this wall hanging add a calm feeling that add a rustic charm to any quilt. Shapes, inside shapes add a little fun to echoing stars. Wall hanging. The different star shapes throughout make circles and keep an X. The X keeps the eye diving deeper into the design. It is an enjoyable quilt that is suitable for every different color palettes. The fabrics chosen in this quilt bring warmth and cool colors together to add balance. Nautical sails was inspired by the joy of freedom sailing over the open water. The shapes in this lovely quilt give a feel of wind over a lake or ocean, an easy to put together lap-size quilt that will warm any sailor's heart. I also thought about this as a great quilt, a valor quilt, so that may be something to think about also for this quilt, since we use the red, white, and blue. Scrappy Spinner is was designed to break out the scrap bin. I wanted to challenge myself and bring out try doing a scrappy book, quilt. So, and have fun, you can have fun with this with leftover fabrics from other projects. This lap-size quilt can be used just a few colors or a lot of colors. It's up to you. It depends on your stash also. Relax, have fun with these colors, take scraps to a whole new level as you make spinning elements and diamonds in this entertaining quilt top. Blossom Sakura, I think, is one of my favorite quilts. The term Sakura is a Japanese term for ornamental cherry blossoms. This quilt is designed while making I was thinking about the cherry blossom festivals held every year in the DC area. It makes the use of vibrant colors that will bring warmth, peace into your heart. Loose is a wall hanging design to bring modern elegance into any space and use neutral tones with the arrowhead shapes, provides a feel of motions like an archer releasing their arrows. Petal Spinner. Feel the twirling and spinning as the blowing winds provide motion into the flower petals in this wall hanging quilt pattern. The spinning comes from the different use of the different fan shapes inside the fan shapes and adds interest to the overall design. This design utilizes the balance of warm and cool colors using your imagination by adding that personal appeal to the design. Finally, mirrored ombre. Ombre is a shading of color from light to dark or dark to light, which you can see in the gentle flow of the cool tones in this graceful lap quilt. If you feel more adventurous, you could choose fabrics that have a greater value difference to create a more dramatic flair. Let your imaginations be your guide. So now I want to give you a little, let you know about how to purchase this book as we get started, before we get into the book tour of next. So you can purchase the book right now as a pre-order from my website, quiltingaffection.com. Between now and November 13th, you can pre-order and receive 20% off. Now, I have to put this as a U.S. customers only. My international and Canadians, you'll have more of a chance starting December 1st as my regular ship. I open it up to more places for you to purchase the book. All books will be shipped December 1st. Also, I welcome wholesale orders. So if you have a shop that you know of that you would love to have them purchase the book so you can get it from them, please let them know. You can visit quiltingaffection.com wholesale for more information. So let's jump into give you a tour of what the book looks like and give you a feel what you will be purchasing. So this is the basic cover of the book. This will be not here. This is just my proof of the book. Beautiful cover. So inside the book, we have another great picture of the book, of the quilts here. I have my dedication acknowledgement pages. I've gone through most of those as I thanked everybody in the beginning. Our table of contents. The forward. I have two great forwards here. One from Deb Tucker herself and another one from the Running with Scissor quilters, Ellen, Heidi, and Kathy. They wrote one that's their one for me. They are the collaborators of the Corner Pop 2s and 3s, and they're also certified instructors with Studio 180. So I was grateful for them and Deb to write these forwards, and I thank you a lot for that. We get into chapter 1. Chapter 1 goes over the idea of the book, how to use the book, and the tools. And when I'm writing this book, I was thinking about how can I make it more appealing for all my customers. So I had my fonts easily to read, and so they're not tiny. Because I wear glasses too, so I want to make sure everybody can read what you bought. I talk about fabrics, page breakdowns, cutting charts in this section, the tools, the Studio 180 tools. Chapter 2 gets into the Studio 180 design tools, the wing clipper. I walk you through all the process of that. We go through the no waste method. We also go through the stitch and flip method and the pickets. Pickets are a technique that uses the Studio 180 wing clipper tool. It's just sewing on one end of the rectangle, and that's all explained in this book. The corner pop, it has a corner pop section that goes into corner pop 2, general instructions, and 3. We provide great photographs of how to assemble each method. I give diagrams of the tools, cutting charts that we use. We talk about the stitch and flip method in this because we use this in a special pattern, the Petal Spinner pattern, and it gives you the page number. So I do refer to different pages in the book to help you keep you organized and everything. I talk about the trim process, right-handed and left-handed. So we go through and I demonstrate each one. Talks about the pickets trim down for right-handed and left-handed. Then we get into the corner pops. Again, I show you the anatomy of the tools because they're very similar. I only showed one. I also give you tips throughout the book also. You'll find these little tips here and there. Also, in the beginning of the corner pops, I kind of give them background of what the tool is and where it came out from. In the general instructions for the corner pop, we break it down what type 1 is and type 2. We get into the cutting replacements for type 1, and again we do photographs. We show you detailed photographs of how to do each step. Cutting replacement triangles for the type 2s. Then we get into the cutting corner type 1. So you're going to remove a corner from a base shape. And we talk about the trim down process of that also. The cutting away corner type 2, we talk about that. It's a little bit different from the type 1. So you have to pay attention. That's why I have detailed instructions in here on how to do each process. Corner pop 3 general instructions is written about the same way. We talk about cutting the replacements of type 1 and 2, the cutaway corners, we talk about those also. And then we get into putting it all together. I talk about the center assembly. We put how to put a straight layout together, how to put an on-point layout together. And then I get into borders. I thought it was very important after talking to my long armor January. A lot of people do not understand how to put borders on their quilts. So I wanted to give write down some instructions on how to do that properly. So I got into that and how to stitch the borders on. We have beautiful graphics showing the quilts off throughout this book, and then we jump into the projects. The first 4 are the Corner Pop 2 projects. The last 4 are the Corner Pop 3 projects. So in the projects sections, I'm going to go through the Asterisk Star to show you what that you can do with that. So what I have is I gave you the project, the finished block size, the quilt size. I gave you a description. Then I also tell you what pages to refer to if you're not familiar with the corner pop tools and for the general instructions. I do that throughout this whole process of making sure you what pages to refer to so you have quick reference. We give a diagram in black and white on the grayscale for the quilt, what it would look like. Yardage, and then the unit summaries, giving you a unit summary of what units will be in this quilt. The color charts are beautifully done, easy to read, to find the what sizes squares, what strips to cut, what replacement triangles and how many you're going to need. We jump into we start with making the geese first. If we need to make those combinations assembly, we do those next, and then we start cutting our replacement triangles out. I do remind you to, one suggestion that I give is to keep yourself organized with paper plates throughout the book so you can keep your units separate. I do have those notes. I put notes in there for you on that. And then we break down into making our units. We pop the flying geese units. I do give diagrams with the tools to show you where you should line up your tool on the unit for the type 1s and 2s. Where units you're going to be making, the popped corner units, we also do the same thing. I give you what side you're going to be popping and if it's wrong side or right side for the type 1s and type 2s. Then we get into the block assembly, the quilt assembly. And each quilt will have a diagram like this to help you put your quilt together with the borders. And then that's how it goes. It flows the rest of the way through the book with Project 2, with Echoing Stars. And you can see the cutting chart for that one and the units. And then we get into nautical sails. Beautiful picture of that one. I love that picture because it's so reminds me of the ocean and the lakes. And then we get into the next one, which is the scrappy spinner. We could talk about how to make these units with the flying geese. Then we get into the back part of the book where it talks about the Corner Pop 3 projects. We got Blossoming Sakura, Loose, Petal Spinner, and Mirrored Ombre for our last 4. So we can see our quilts and our project in this section. Loose, nice cafe scene. Mirrored Ombre. And then finally in the back of the book I have an appendix. I wanted to write down all the fabrics that I used in the quilt. I kept a document on them, and the January was nice enough to put together all the quilting designs and where she got them from. So we're giving them credit, the designers credit, for making those beautiful quilt designs for the quilting. And that way you also can, if you like the way that quilt looks, once you're done, you can take it to your long armor and say, can you please do this design on the quilt? So that's something to think about also. And the back of the book is about the author and where to reach me at. So that's a basic tour of the book. So I'm going to get back to our purchasing page. I want to remind you again, you can purchase the book through my website, quiltingaffection.com. Between now and the 13th, you can receive 20% off on the book. Remember, everything will ship December 1st also. So that's about it. Okay, I want to thank you all for joining me today for my first book launch. I hope I've inspired you to purchase the book and the Studio 180 design tools along with this book if you need them, and try Popping with Wings. Thank you.